What's changed in FIFA 22 if we're discussing gameplay? Beautiful people, what's happening? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm your host with the most, Mike LaBelle, Dirty Mike, coming in with 15 adjustments, FIFA 22 gameplay specific. Many of you ask me via social, so I felt we should create this product. If you enjoy it, please drop some love. Let me know, did I miss anything? Do we need a follow-up? But I'm not gonna hold you. Let's begin. I have 15 changes. Slower gameplay. And this has been in the discussion. Did you want an arcade experience or not so much? The pace of the game comes in with more of a build-up procedure. Unless, of course, you hit a quick counterattack. But generally speaking, you're gonna have to build. Unlock some space. Take your time. Switch the pitch. Move, groove, pass, go. Monopoly style. Collect an extra 200. More realistic. And hold on. Foundationally speaking, this is a more realistic simulation for a football title in comparison to previous installments, specifically FIFA 21. I know some of you will say, did you see this goal or this glitch? Or this viral clip on Reddit? I understand. I'm generalizing, and I stand by, especially if we get the correct patch, update, shift, the foundation of what FIFA 22 is built on. Before we put up the house, foundation is a much more realistic title than we have seen in previous years. Driven pass importance. When you're looking for those key splits, the penetrating passes, you're swinging it left and right, you're gonna need the driven pass in FIFA 22. That R1, that extra modifier, that's gonna allow you to get a little additional whippage, speed up the game. And I can't stress this enough. In FIFA in particular, controlling the pace, being able to shift the gameplay, slowing it down, speeding it up, playing where you're comfortable. FIFA is a rhythmic title, always has been, always will be. And the driven pass needs to be in your arsenal, to be in your back pocket. Chip through balls, greater than traditional through balls. This might bring up a bit of a debate because they both have effectiveness, but even more so if I'm looking at FIFA 21, we're seeing the rise. If we're looking at a compare and a contrast of the chip through ball or even the new lobbed pass that they have in FIFA 22 where it has a little more of that cook, a little more of that air time. We're talking Air Bud, Michael Jordan. It allows you to take it down or to run into space. It gives you a competitive advantage, especially if you have a larger striker or a speedster. Pace kills, or at least it sells. We all know about the pace merchants. This year is more of a combination. Pace is not everything. I'm not saying it's not relevant or it's not important, but we have seen a shift where players that don't have that burner, the extra kicker, the vroom vroom, zoom zoom, boom boom, they can still very much so be relevant and stand out in the best of ways. Skill moves equal nerfed. That means they've been reduced. Many of you will like hearing this. And I'm not saying they're not viable. I'm someone who's always used way too many skill moves as a form of expression. I put my cursive handwriting out there. I look at my hands and I analyze. You cannot rely on skill moves to be the way that you generate offensively with levels of consistency. It's just simply more difficult to create degrees of separation. Still, you need them. They should be something you have, but there's gonna be a lot of the simplicity. I've been pulling out the step overs, the half drag backs, the body feints. Some of the new skills that have also been introduced, which is on the YouTube channel if you need to see what's happening, what's brand spanking new. Certain cancellations have been removed. You might have seen this announced. Specifically, you're not gonna have the La Croqueta cancellation, but generally speaking, I haven't seen a lot of effectiveness with cancels. It's an extra step that doesn't necessarily give you that skill gap or the same types of progression or reliance that we have seen in the past. Last year was getting kind of ridiculous. I like the idea of cancels, but you should not be able to have instant cancellations with quick execution skill moves because that does not exist in real life whatsoever. I have never seen anyone do a La Croqueta and just stop it. Even some of the fake shots can be debatable. I mean, the Berba spins a little bit slower and you can still cancel out of it. I do enjoy the resurgence of some of the traditional skills. I feel this year, in particular, there is more value in a Berba spin than we've seen in the last couple installments. But cancellations last year were getting out of control. That's the point that I'm making. Finesse shots, overpowered. you've most likely seen this, but it's incredible. First time, all angles, weak foot, doesn't always matter. I sort of enjoy it, but I also hate it. It brings back nostalgic vibes and energy from FIFA 12, which was impactful to me. That was part of the foot golden era, extremely arcadey. You were looking to get right on the edge of the box. You had that corner window, and finesse shots were flying in. And I have a positive reassessment or a positive affirmation with FIFA 12. So I am a little bit conflicted with finesse shots. I think they probably need to be toned down slightly. Some of these angles and some of the range might be a tad too much, but I don't want to see them lost. You can let me know what you think in the comments because I feel this is going to be heavily debated. Offensive awareness, big changes. Players hold their runs. They check back. If they're heading into an offside position, wait for the support, look for triangles, slow down, adjust on the fly. The natural positioning offensively really doesn't have a comparison between FIFA 22 and FIFA 21, if you're asking yours truly. Just watch how players allow you to build, where they look for space, and more importantly, when they've made runs, how they're looking to curve those runs and stay on side. There's nothing more frustrating than straight line, route one football that these professional players would never do. In real life, never. Defensive positioning, unfortunately, way too deep. And you don't have to be playing on drop back or some sort of quick tactic. Naturally speaking, everyone from the defenders to the midfielders, sometimes even the strikers, they pack the box. They're stuffing it like Thanksgiving and it's not even November. I would like to see this adjusted because players aren't looking to even sit that deep. And it happens organically. And not even with a bunch of additional build-up play or the slow build. Even when you're looking for counterattacks, you're trying to find space. Players are sprinting back. Usain Bolt, style-esque. Crossing improvements. It's a big come up. More variety, additional options. I see lob crosses, I see whip crosses, people pulling it back on the ground, in the air. You can convert directly, you can take it down off a volley. A lot of those first touches look gorgeous. I even think about some of the switching of the pitch and the way that the players recompose themselves and just shape their body. There's a lot of realism there. And we didn't really see crossing as it should be, again, the past couple FIFA installments. So I'm happy with the opening introduction of crossing in FIFA 22 because I know that it will be relevant, and it also allows you to use larger strikers or just larger players in general and then receive an advantage. Offside trap. Expect plenty of offside trap because not only are players naturally, remember, sitting back, they're sitting deep, they're tracking back, sprinting this way, they also aren't always aligned. And I don't know if you've came across this experience. My fullbacks often are very offset. They're not keeping a organized back line. Therefore, everyone is left onside. Same can be said with the center backs. Getting split. One steps, the other sits back, and I'm not doing it manually. You need to have synergy and cohesive movement with your back line, and the offside trap has become much more effective and gives you a little more reliability in FIFA 22, especially considering that midfielders do a good job of sitting on top of that back line, therefore making that initial penetrating pass difficult. It's a challenge. So when you bring up your back line via an offside trap, it's not an all or nothing where your opposition makes one pass and they're likely to be through. Formation variety. We've already started making breakdowns, informative videos, myself and Ovi. I would say currently over 10 formations can perform at the highest level. I'm seeing regular rotations. You see the 4-4-2 or the 3-5-2, 4-3-2-1, 4-2-3-1, 4-1-4-1, 4-3-3 variations. You can start naming them. I can do this all day. It's not a problem. When I go in to division rivals, when I'm grinding through even playing friendlies, I see it all. And different tactical adjustments and alignments via these formations, which should be expected. Any early time period or early iteration, players are gonna test different methods to creating some sort of separation or really allowing them to have that additional step with expression. But at the same time, even though it's early, this title encourages tactical shifts, and I feel, I'm going on record here, we will have more formations being played than previous years at that upper echelon. Responsiveness, and this is specifically next gen. Is there an easy fix? Even when I've played offline, squad battles, I'm getting delay in my input. And that's before I take this online. And from what I've witnessed and what I've heard around the community, current gen is much better with the built-in responsiveness offline or online. Therefore, that tells me with the next gen build out that we've got some issues, or at least a few concerns. Can a patch fix input delay that exists even when you're not playing someone across the world or on the other side of the country? It's more of a question, but it's something I've noticed I felt like should be included in this video. Physical matters. The obvious resurgence of number 9 type-esque players. I'm pretty happy about this. And if you're unsure what I'm referring to or referencing, a player like Lukaku is better than he's ever been. Even someone like Suarez or Harry Kane, you can use them right now because they have the physical statistics, they have the ability to finish from outside the box, aerial pursuit exists. Corner kicks, there hasn't been someone better than Lukaku. We're talking about scoring those near post headers or disrupting what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening. The guy is a walking W. And the reality, we've never really said that about any of those players. Maybe Suarez, if we're gonna go back in time 5 years. Goalkeepers, let's talk. Also, I don't think the AC is working in my apartment and it's not cold enough outside for this to be happening. What the hell is going on with our weather in New York City? But goalkeepers are juiced. We're talking smoothies. All the vegetables, all the fruits, oat milk, 2% whole milk, oatmeal. It's kind of unbelievable. Goalkeepers will let in a finesse shot from 35 yards out, but from point blank range, they make saves where I would have bet a house that I was going to convert. They're mispositioned, they're out of line, they're guessing before you shoot, they're anticipating before anything is released. And then you add in some of the AI blocks and the misfortunes and the bounce backs. Something's got to give. I would like to see goalkeepers, I don't know if I want to say toned down completely, but where we have a little more consistency, especially with 1v1 finishing inside the box. If I open up my body, I position properly, I've got a top tier striker, I've got to convert at a high ratio. And at the moment, it feels like a toss-up. Thanks again for watching. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Stir up them comments. Chef Dirty. If you want to join the conversation, at Mike LaBelle, pick a platform. We upload daily. Social media, daily. You name it, we're on it. And I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.